let's talk about the church's, you know, the things we've done in the church to respond to COVID. What we've been looking at is, yeah, just how to make a set of guidelines that that make sense and that make us feel comfortable that it's a good idea to have some people in the church, and then so that the you know the liturgy and the worship can take place in that context, in a context that people feel reasonably safe. So much of that is about communication, you know. I mean, and a church is not, it's not a workplace. I mean, it is a workplace, but it's not in terms of the congregation, where you can kind of require people to listen, so it's something that we all do together. And so let me just repeat, we've put things on the website, sent emails out, but basically it looks a lot like what you see in other settings where people, we're asking people to wear masks, and people, sit at a distance from each other. But the other big part of it, and this is where, whether you are coming to worship in person or not, as actually I'm not at this point, the other really important part of it has to do with how we work, what we do in our lives, that well, let me put it this way. I think sometimes going to church is something, what's comforting and what we can be so nice about going to church is that it's something that you can just put on your calendar and you do it every week, and you kind of just, it's like on the background, and you do it no matter what, right? And it's this comforting thing that you can do no matter what. I don't think that's actually what Jesus really recommends in terms of how you approach, these things, but it certainly can be a nice thing to have in your life. That's a very dangerous way to approach going to church right now, because if you get I don't know, 10, 15, I don't know, Father Paul, how many people are we having in church at a given time? Somewhere between 10 and 25 people most of the time?
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, so the numbers are not large, but if you ask me, how worried am I about that number of people gathering inside? My answer is, I don't know, because I don't know, and with masks are very important, but the answer is, I don't know if those people are paying attention to their bodies and also listening to what they're hearing from the other people in their life that they're having contact to. Are they responding to, you have your grandchild or your somebody in your life, and they have a runny nose, and you figure this kid is always getting a runny nose, it's winter time, but this is not a time to just kind of make assumptions and glide through things like that. We have to be alert. We have to be listening. This is how we're going to protect each other. And the way to respond to that, so listening to your body, paying attention to who you're exposed to, what your networks are, right, and coordinating with each other, and then just getting in the habit of, it's not pleasant, and it can be difficult to navigate through the healthcare system, but just getting in the habit of getting tested, for COVID on some kind of regular basis, and certainly if you experience any symptoms, or if anybody that who you've been exposed to is having symptoms. If the answer to those things is yes, that the people in our congregation are doing those things, then I feel pretty good about that. So that's the message that I ask you, this sort of group that's here on this call and so forth, to kind of give those nudges to people that you're interacting with, and that's going to be very important. These things that we're talking about, listening to your body, paying attention, Don't be on autopilot, get tested. Like, this is what we need to do. It could make the difference between all of us making it through the winter or not. I can't, there's no guarantee, but these things really matter, you know? But if we can find a way to put it, I would love to make a sign that communicated that, but that communicated it not from the perspective of I'm the boss and I'm here to tell you this, but from the perspective of we love each other and this is what we need to do.